Welcome back, guys. Back on with the little Kawasaki. And I don't know if we're going to do front end or rear end today. Leaning towards the front end because I have found somebody breaking one in the UK. And so if I need a couple more bits for it, I've got an opportunity to get them. And I think that maybe I'm more likely to need some bits for the front end than the rear. So I think we'll do the front end today, as you can see, and clearly not working on the front end of the motorbike. While we are doing the front end, I think we should let the little fizzy tank do its job with the carburettor. So let's see if we can get it off without taking the tank and the seat off, which we managed before. We'll stick it in the ultrasonic cleaner. And we'll talk a little bit about ultrasonic cleaning. All right, that's that boot off. So, if you're here, guys, for the first time, we're rebuilding this Kawasaki KLR250 with the intention of doing a couple of vintage enduro events on it. It's been sat in a garage for a few years. No, it hasn't. It's been sat in a garden for a few years. There's a full playlist, so check it out. I'll pin it in the comments. And if you're here for the first time, guys, do me a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, hit like, drop us a comment, all that good stuff. It's completely free of charge and massively helps the channel out. Right, let's get the carb stripped down and talk about a little bit of ultrasonic cleaning at the same time. Now, first of all, if you've followed this little project from the word go, you will be aware that I've had the carb off once. It was pretty gummed up, actually. I mean, I've seen worse, but it wasn't great. The worst bit being the fuel feed in along here was blocked solid. I actually had to warm it up before I could move the crud out of it. Hence the reason that I bought a carb kit and new diaphragm, and we'll give it a proper clean and a rebuild. Although, again, if you've watched all the videos, she's running idling a treat, which, considering the state of the carb, is quite an accomplishment. So let's get it completely stripped down today. Get all the bits in the ultrasonic cleaner. And then we can crack on with the front end of the bike. So you can see in there that it's definitely not the end of the world, but it's also not fantastic. So let's get some of the gaskets out. As always, a separate little tub for the little bits. There's the floaty. Let's get some of the bigger bits out first. Okay, that's in there. And that's plastic. I want that out. Okay, let's come back to that. So we've got crud on the inside and mud on the outside. Okay, it's got a mixture of screws everywhere, and that's not great. Certainly explains, or tells us, I should say, that it's been apart before. Big Zebedee. One diaphragm with the slide. So I bought a new diaphragm, and I think it came with the slide. Don't think the needle's in it though. The needle pops out like that. So one needle, plastic slide. Sorry, little plastic piece, aluminium slide. Diaphragm's not split though. Okay, so I'm going to pop it in the vise, see if I can get that one out. For some unknown reason, that had been proper done up. But we got it out. Right, now I'm hoping that I'll be able to pull this out. And I'm assuming that there is some rubber seals on it. So you might have heard me mention this before, guys. This has got coolant feed going through the carburettor. Can only assume to warm it up and stop the carb from freezing up. Oh well. Yeah, it's all good. Right. See if we can pop some jets out. I've got these long, thin snap-on screwdrivers, which have always been really handy for carb jobs. So that one was out 2.5 turns. Ooh. So let's talk a little bit about ultrasonic cleaning. I often see online, eBay, Faceplant Marketplace, and all the rest of it. Cubs have had an ultrasonic clean. Don't ever get confused with ultrasonic cleaning being a fix for your carburettor. Yes, it might dislodge a piece of dirt that you hadn't noticed, and yes, that might fix your problem. But ultimately, ultrasonic cleaning should be seen as a way of cleaning all of your carburetor components. You will still need to clean out all of your jets individually and make sure all the crud is out of them. The ultrasonic cleaner will not necessarily do that. It will loosen the dirt. So, for example, this one here, it's turning freely, it's moving up the carburetor body, but it's going to show me up now and come out. It's a bit tight towards the end, probably because there's a load of crud in the hole. So in this case, I'll leave that until it's been in the tank for an hour or so, and then I'll probably be able to, well, hopefully wind it out. So when it comes to ultrasonic cleaning, guys, just be a little bit careful, okay? Just ultrasonic clean it, yeah, by all means. It's a fantastic process. That's for sure. It is a good process. So all of these jets look nice and clear. Probably why it was running okay. Well, definitely while it was running okay. Right, what size is that? Right, apart from that one, have we got everything off that we can physically get off? These are part of it, so they're staying on there. Flap that you can see in there. We're not putting ourselves through that world of pain. You should never really touch those. It never goes right. Well, not in my experience anyway. So let's get some of this in the ultrasonic tank. Right, while it's warming up, guys, let me show you what we got. So obviously the carb body's in here. Float bowl's in here. Adjuster screw and spring. Little bracket in there. I use these little gauzes. So, because obviously the holes in this tray, the little bits are going to fall through. So you can see we've got what we've got in there, the float needle and a jet in there. I'll just pop those in there so that they can do their job. Same with this one. Here's another jet or something in there. Want to put all these bits through, so this emulsion tube and that needle, little bracket, the rest of these screws. Shall I put that in? It has got a plastic bit on it. Oh, I'm not going to risk it. Haven't got a spare. So I'm not going to put them in this pot. That ain't going to work for us, is it? So I need to find something to put all of these this lot in, sorry. I'm going to have to tell the missus there's someone at the door and go hunting in the kitchen, aren't I? Like, that's the best place. Right. Back in a minute. Do not tell the missus. So, this sort of material, ideal for either covering the bottom of your ultrasonic tray to stop the little bits popping through, or just making a little basket, which is what I think we're going to do now. Maybe. Right. Can I get that out with? Nice. Right, so I'm kind of hoping that I can fold this up into, it's bloody sharp, I know that much. Yeah, I think you can see what I'm trying to achieve. And then we'll pour all the little bits in, and they can go in the ultrasonic cleaner. That should hopefully work. Yeah. I get on Amazon and order a new sieve for the kitchen. A bit bloody sharpish, people. Splendid. We are at 50 degrees, so let's pop it in, shall we? Right, lid off. Cooking nicely. So let's pop that in like that. Put the lid on. Right, carburettor is fizzing away. But full disclaimer, it is the next day. So last night, I let the carb fizz away for an hour. Took it out. Oh. Yeah, so I let it fizz away for an hour last night. Took it out. That don't look very good, does it? You see. Right, get your words out, Dino. Talk to the people. Right. I let the carb fizz away for an hour last night. Came back out here, took it out, gave it all a good wash off, got all the excess gunk and schmoo off. And it's back in there this morning, back up to temperature. And what I want to do now is strip some of these bits off the front end and see if there's anything else we need to order on the front end, because I don't think I'm going to have time to get the forks done today. So I've already got a new Speedo cable. So we'll get rid of the Speedo cable. We'll get that out of the way. It's a little bit chilly, but the sun's nice and bright. Let's get the keys out. Right, so we've got some lock wire here. Same lock wire that was on the exhaust. Certainly done its job. That's one. Two. And is that what's holding it on? Yes, that's all that's holding it on. So now we just got a loom somewhere around here. Right, the Speedo cable wasn't plugged in, and yeah, the captives that hold the Speedo in have snapped out, but it's got no speedo needle was gone, if you haven't already seen that before. So I will hang on to them, you know, prove the mileage and stuff like that. But yeah, I luckily found another set. So we've got a captive here that needs to come out. Oh, it's out. That was easy. So we've got a captive there. That's out. I just wanted to double check that we didn't need anything else. The cables are all toast, so we can get those out now. I do need to film the cable routing, probably for me, but definitely for a subscriber that has asked me yesterday if I can film the cable routing because he's putting one back together. So clutch cable down behind this headlight bracket, comes over this side into the clip in the frame here. So that's straightforward. Throttle cables, push and pull down here, that side of the fork, and then again back through those clips. And then the speedo cable, if you're doing that as well, runs up the front of the fork, underneath the headlight bracket, and then it pops up about here. Choke cable here, runs this side of the fork, and then along the side of the frame there with the wiring loom. Good. Right, we've got plenty of cobwebs and leaves, but it doesn't look like anything else is particularly broken. Indicators are already disconnected. Let's have a look and see what the terminals are like. Yeah, they're not the end of the world. You guys can't see them because the sun's so bright, but they're okay. A little bit of a clean up and some grease and they'll be all right. Yeah, it's just mucky. Right, let's get some levers off. Tell you what the plan is with the front brake master cylinder now. So, remember we popped that sight glass out because it was rotten. I did order some material up, turn my own one up. So I thought I'll put a new O-ring in there. I'll turn up some transparent material and we'll be able to push one in there. So that was the plan. So I ordered a bit of material and then found a second-hand one with a really good sight glass. So we'll go down that route mainly because it's easier. Pop that back in there. Right, so front brake hose off, 2 8mm here. And that is that one off. And the lever's snapped, but I've already got a new lever. Next up, let's get this. I found another one of these as well, which is lucky. Most of the ones I'm finding were in Europe, which in the UK now, the customs fees are normally the same price as the component that you are buying. So big benefit to buying stuff in the UK now. Always been a big believer in that anyway, to be honest with you. Let's not get into that one though. And we've got the adjuster on here. Let's line all the slots up and see what we can do here. Oh, I need a bit of slack at the other end. Right. Giving us a load of slack over the other end. So cable out, clutch perch off. Happy days. It's already got a new lever, so we'll switch that over to the new perch when we get it this week. Right, the carburettor's nearly finished fizzing away. And then I think what we'll do is we'll rebuild it. So we've got the levers off, we've got the speedo head off, so we know I don't need any more brackets from this braking bike. Master cylinder's on its way, clutch perch is on its way, cables are here, bearings are here, brakes are here. Oh, I've got another downpipe on its way, guys. One popped up, cheap as chips. Let's get it, because I've done a repair on mine, as you know. This one looked a lot better. But this has been bothering me. I've mentioned it in most videos. There's this I don't think we're going to be able to do anything about it. I don't know what it is. To me, like I said before, it looks like when you're following something that's smoking a lot, which this could have been, and it's like ingrained in the plastic. So I've got a bit of compound here, and I was wondering if it would compound out. It's not, and it kind of looks like it's on the inside. Let me try it on the inside. Whatever it is, sorry, it is ingrained in that plastic. Never mind. We kind of thought that would be the case, didn't we? Right, let's have a look. Oof. Some manky water or cleaning solution. Let's turn the machine off, move that out of the way, and have a little look and see what we got. So last night, guys, you know, I just said I was a crafty little rascal and I'd done it for an hour. I let it cook for an hour and fizz away, took it out, cleaned it all off with carb cleaner. This jet here, this then came straight out. Okay, so it wound straight out once the dirt was out of it. That is one of the beauties of ultrasonic cleaning. It will help you out with bits and bobs like that, unsticking things. So it needs a wash off again with carb cleaner, because I don't know if you can see the dirt that it's dislodged in there, look. Yeah. So this is the other thing with ultrasonic cleaning. It's loosened all of the dirt. Yeah. Now there's work to do. Yeah. I always think that's the important bit with ultrasonic cleaning. Yeah. It's loosened all the dirt. Now you've got to put a bit of graft in, which we're going to do now. So carb body, float bowl. Yeah, that's looking nice now. Brackets had a good clean, so has this screw that was covered in mud and everything. That's all had a good clean. We've got our jets in here. So yeah, they look like, I think the needle float valve is there, but I've actually got a new one of them as well. So, but they look lovely and clean now. Another one in here, another little jet looking nice and clean. And our little homemade basket with jets that wouldn't fit and screws and all the rest of it, all looking lovely, which is good. Nice and clean. Even if they are all different and wrong, at least they're clean. Right, I've had a thought. Keep the ball rolling here. I wonder if we should quickly strip the front brake caliper, pop that in the fizzy tank, so that can be fizzing away, and us lot can rebuild the carburettor. What do you guys think? Good idea? I think so. Let's do that. So, pop our carb bits over here. Last couple of weeks, I've done a fantastic job of not hitting record. Calipers off the bike, guys. I've got the old brake pads out. We've got new ones to go in. That's the carrier. So that's going to go in the ultrasonic cleaner. Here's the brake caliper itself. Just taking the bleed nipple out. I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I have ordered a stainless one for it. That's here already. But we'll pop it in. And I've got the protective rubbers out of the caliper already. I do need to pop the piston out. Thank God I realised we weren't recording before I did that. Couple of ways I recommend getting this out. Keep the brake hose connected. Use the hydraulic pressure to push the caliper all the way out, or as far out as you want, or airline in the end and pop the piston out. I currently don't have either of those options, and I do not recommend that you do it this way, because I wouldn't want you to damage the piston in your caliper or slip off like that. It's tight, but it is coming out. Note to self, get my compressor sorted. Right, that's that out. So where I've gripped it up the top, here, guys, will have no detrimental effect, but I do highly recommend that you don't do it that way. Push it out with the hydraulic pressure before you take the caliper hose off, or use compressed air. I am a trained moron who's been acting like a moron for many years, so I knew that I was going to be all right there. Let's now get this seal out. So one dust seal, that is completely knackered, if you can see that on the camera. like holes in it falling apart, look. So that's toast. And then inside here, we've got the actual caliper seal. So we'll pop that out. That's your actual caliper seal. It is really dirty in there, guys. Look at that. Ugh. So we've got our little homemade basket. Let's put little bits in here like that. And then these big bits can go in as they are. So one caliper, one holder, one piston, one pot of screws and that. Let's pop those in. Let's pop that on. And let's set that going for an hour, shall we? Right, so before I start cleaning up, guys, this is the sorts of bits and pieces and tools, I should say, that I use now. So just a series of like thin rods. They're not a file. They're like little needles with a rough edge. So I've got a set of them. I've then got basically another set of these in here that has also got like some slightly bigger ones in there. I use little brushes like that. I've got a really handy pick like that. And just use some carb cleaner. Yes, I would use an airline as well. But at the moment, that is not an option. So what I want to start by doing is just giving everything a clean out. Try not to cover the camera lens in carb cleaner. So initially, guys, if you watch the very first video when we attempted to get it running, my main problem was in here. This part of the carb here, the fuel comes in here from the fuel tank, runs along here, out of this hole, which when the valve isn't seated will then fill the float bowl up. In here was blocked solid. I mean, nothing would come through. I ended up having to gently heat the carb body up and then blow through here, and the stuff started to very, very slowly squeeze out, like I was squeezing it out of a tube, but eventually it cleared. I blew some carb cleaner through. I put some brushes through it. Now it's been in the ultrasonic tank. We should all be hunky-dory, I reckon. Good. Right. I'm going to get rid of this manky pot and put something clean down to work on. Right. Let's get some bits back together, shall we? So I've got a new diaphragm with a new slide. And I didn't think I had a new needle, but I do. So the needle pops through there, and then this little plastic piece pops down into there, he says. Yeah, definitely that way. So needle, plastic bit inside, just like that. And then our slide only goes in one way. So that's the diaphragm in. You just see the needle, that end. I couldn't get it located. Everything's harder when the camera's on. Let me tell you that. And then we got one big spring. Pops in there like that. And that goes over the top. And what would have been really useful, let's let the weight of the carb hold that, is if somebody found some new screws for it. Let me see what we got. Got new screws for the float bowl. So we'll utilise the float. These are all odd, you see. At least these are all the same now. And maybe I'll pick up some stainless stuff. I've got a lot of stainless stuff. I haven't got this size. One plastic cap that goes over here. Right, now, see what we got in the new kit. New float bowl gasket. So we've got a new tube for here. Just, if you've got new bits in kits, this isn't a genuine kit. Always make sure that everything's the same. So, one of those. And then what have we got now? One of these in the top. He says. No, wrong one. So the one that got stuck before it was clean was this one. This one has a little spring. We've got a new needle for it. Now we go all the way down and then out 1, 2.5 turns. That's what it was. So we'll try it there. We can do a bit of setting up afterwards. Right, good. There was something extra in that rebuild kit and it threw me off and I thought that I was missing something. I'm not. Beauty of recording is I could just quickly watch it back. Right, so I've got a new needle float valve. So we'll pop that down into there. We'll pop our little pin through.
we'll do the obligatory blow-through test. It's nothing like some petrol fumes in your lungs. Right, float bowl's still got a couple of little bits of muck in there. Right, one new float bowl seal. So one of those. Float bowl on. Have got new screws for this bit. Right, float bowl done. Next trick is the little water pipe that's got to go back in. So, this piece back in, put some new seals on it. And that one. And then we've got a little bracket that holds it like that. And then we had a whopping great big Phillips head screw, which was all chewed up and horrible. And I know that this may not look much better, but at least it's shiny and it's not chewed up and horrible. And as soon as I get to my little shop where I go for nuts and bolts and doohickeys, I will replace it. Good. I'll also replace these ones as well. So I've already popped them on my little list to go and see my little man. So that's all nice. Right. Throttle cable bracket. Nearly painted this up once it was clean. Glad I didn't. I think it might have looked a bit out of place. So, throttle cable bracket, that's done. Adjusting screw and spring here. Do that just so it's just touching the bottom of the little lever there. Good. Happy days. Job done. That is a lot nicer. I'm happy. Until I know that a rebuilt carb is okay and running okay and set up okay on the bike, none of the little bits and bobs get thrown away. I keep everything just in case, because you never know what these aftermarket bits are going to be like.
Right, the calipers had an hour now as well. So right, so before we take it over to the other bench and let's rebuild it today. Let's get more than one thing done. Let's give everything a good wash off. Pistons, really, really good. Okay, slight mark there. That's all it is a mark. Couple of little slight marks around there. We know which moron caused those. So that's all good. And it's really nice in there now. So all the dirt's gone. Spot on. Right. Let's take it over to the other bench and rebuild it, shall we? Follow me. Right, caliper body, new seals and copper washers and all the bits we need here. So, first things first, the rubber seal. So one rubber seal back in. So that's the new one. And before we put some grease on it, let's see how easy the dust cover is going to go in. Fairly easy by the looks of it. Right. Tiny, tiny smidge of grease around the new seal and where the new dust cover is going to go. Right, let's try this way first. So let's pop the dust cover onto the piston. See how far this dust cover moves down. I've had a bit of luck doing it this way before. So let's try today. So that lip there sits inside. Can you see it? That first lip inside the caliper. So get the bit we can't see very well first. Let's hang it off the piston a bit more. Back one in first. Haha. It's not going to want to play ball, I don't think. Is that it? Yeah, I think we've got it. And then we will gently attempt to push the piston in. And then once the piston's where it needs to be, yeah, that dust seal lip is sitting, if you guys can see it, exactly where it needs to be. So again, just hanging it off the back of the piston and putting the seal in that way has helped us. So that looks nice. That looks good. Happy with that. Right, we've got this little rubber boot, which goes through this top one this way. So let's put some grease on it and see how easy it will push through. Not using the needle, using the blunt end just to try and push that through. It's not playing ball. There we go. Quarter drive driver, done it nicely. Wipe some of the excess grease off. Good, that's that one. And then this one should go on here. I think. Yeah, that one goes on there. And then we've got this bracket, which goes in there, holds the brake pads. So we'll put some grease on these. There we go. So they're nice and located where they need to be. And then we've got this god-awful brake pad spring, which I am not a big fan of, I must admit. So that locates. I struggled with this one before. That locates in there. That pushes back there. And then we've got one brake pad in like that. I wonder if that's by design, because that does stop it coming out. Right. And then, job done. Weird old setup, these front pads, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's just all normal, and maybe it's just me. Let's get some grease on these pins. Maybe should have done it first, but I was trying not to get grease everywhere. You know, which I've obviously done anyway. Splendid. So, new brake pads, nice gap. Can you see that? Yes, you can. So, what have we got next? We've got some new copper washers, and we'll got some stainless fittings for The brake hose, that's not going on yet. So we'll just pop that in there. So we know that that's all good. And we've got the bleed nipple, which I know I said I got a new one. And I'm sure it's been delivered, but I can't find it. We've got a new rubber for the bleed nipple, so that's got to go over there. If you haven't got a new bleed nipple, always check your bleed nipple is clear. You should be able to blow through it. Otherwise, you'll have terrible trouble bleeding your brakes. This was really tight when I undone it. There's just no need for that, guys. Just when it's all the way home, it just needs a little nip up and that's it. Dust cap over the top. Job is a good one. Pretty sure we've done more than one caliper on the channel now. And then we've got the screws that mount it to the bolts that mount it to the forks, sorry. Pop them in there. Them in there. Job done. So guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much. That's the carb rebuilt, the caliper rebuilt. We've got the speedo off the front. We've got the clutch perch off. We got the brake master cylinder off so that we can fit new ones of them. We got the speedo off. We can fit a new speedo. So probably next week, fork rebuild, cables, front wheel bearing, and apart from a front tyre, that's probably going to be the front end done. So if you made it this far, guys, again, thank you so much. Smash that subscribe button. It's completely free of charge. Really, really helps the channel out. I'm Dino. This is Patch's Repair Shop. I'm going to stick more videos here and here and here and everywhere for you guys to click on and watch. And I'll see you back in here next Sunday. Cheers, guys.